We have a guest from Germany. I was in Stuttgart a couple of months ago, and we met different cities like London, Vienna, it was Milan, and so on. And when I described about Lund and what we have in Lund, there was a guy from London. He said, "You are the small giant," and he didn't know about Jet and Finn. If you're a director of business promotion, of course, you talk about growth and export, and it's important for Lund that our companies is growing here, and that we have good companies and companies who work around the world. But 6 years ago, we started a project here in Lund called Future by Lund. It's an innovation platform. It's supported by Vinnova and some others. And the good thing about the Future by Lund is what you described before. It's a platform where you have both the companies, you have the city, and you have the university. You work together, because this is important that we work together, all of us. So today we have 60 companies in this platform where we work with different areas. And if you look at the areas that we are working in, is moving things and people, future living in spaces, digital humans and creative change makers. It's similar that Mia described before, that we can work in this different area together. But what can a city do? I think it's important that we together can test different solutions. Use the city as a test platform. It's very important that the city is ready to test new ideas, both from the big companies, but also for the small companies, to find good solutions. Because I think all this challenge, we couldn't get ourselves as a city. We have to work together with the university, of course, and the different companies, and we are open to work together. And what are the benefits of this? Of course, a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge together. And I think also that Lund have the right size as a city, the right size to test ideas. And then we can transport it to other cities, the big cities, the mega cities in the world. Because the size of Lund, 100,000 people, I think is the right place to do it. We have already tested a couple of ideas. This one is a collaboration with Trivector, who will be here in the afternoon. What you see here is the centrum of Lund. We use the people in Lund. We asked 500 people who do bicycling and said, "Can you help us to plan the city structure?" And they get an app, and what have they done? Yes, we can recognize how they are bicycling in the city, but we combine that by looking at safety and security. You see the dots here, the red dots, more red on the dots. People have recorded there are something, a safety issue or a security issue. It could be in the road, it could be some strange people in this area. So this helped the technical people in the city to find out where do we have safety issues, security issues in the city. We're using the people in Lund to do this. This is a typical collaboration with the company. The company could test a new application, it could be an export product, and the city got a lot of information in the city planning. We also mentioned about the LX Elon Road. You will hear about it this afternoon. I think I'm the third one talking about this, so we're getting a lot of thesis for you. It started also in a collaboration in Future by Lund when Per was a member in our team. So this is another example how we can work, and then we take it over to you, Joachim, and Innovation Skåne, because it's a bigger project than just for one city. So, for us as a city, it is important to be the test platform, to work together with the academia, with the company, and look at different areas. At the moment, we have a discussion with, you mentioned Somerville in Boston. They were here in Lund this spring, and now we're going to have a collaboration with Somerville and discuss about the different solutions, how we can work together. For Lund, it's important to work together with the best people in the world, and I know all of you always look at the best collaborations. This is also what the city do. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for giving us those insights. But what kind of, I mean, you talked about the possibilities, but what about challenges? Do you see any restrictions or challenges in this region, or?
I think we have the same challenges as other cities have. Of course, of the CO2 and everything compared to climate. So there are no different to be a small city or a big city. I often describe Lund as a block in a mega city, so it's a block discussion in Lund compared with the mega cities.
But you have some really good advantages here with the university and the big companies here, that's high tech. Do you see that sometimes that you're a bit, fat cats, that you're happy with the situation and not challenging yourself enough?
Of course, always a risk, but also I think one of the big challenges is to have, for example, two big companies in the same room to work with open innovation, because often some companies talk about IP rights and that type of ideas. So for us it's important to discuss about this. But we have made a model we call the blue, green and the yellow zone. And in the blue zone, there you make your own decisions. It's owned by ourselves, by the company or by the city, driven by law or something like that. Then we have the green zone. There you have an agreement between the city, one or two companies, or like that. And then we have the yellow zone. And that's open innovation. In the yellow zone, we have open innovation. So when we start the discussion with the companies, we talk about which zone are we in? Are we in the green zone or in the yellow zone? Are we in the yellow zone? It's open innovation, and you have to be open, really open. No IP rights, it's open discussion. And this was a tricky one in the beginning. So in one meeting I had with two big companies, international companies, I said, you have to leave the room because you're not open. And they told me, you can't put out the room, we have to be in this discussion. No, you're not open. And I think the city have to be very straightforward and say, if you're not here.
Yeah, so we heard that openness and discussion is a good platform and really the essential for creating innovation. Do you have any example, like an actual example of what these kind of discussions has resulted in?
One example is when we talk about future living. It's not in this area. We have a collaboration with the Medical Village close to here, and how will be the new buildings here, and that lead to another project called Ectogrid, where we save energy, and this is now a global technology. So just open with one question. Suddenly you end up in another solution.
Great. And Lund is not that big population-wise, but it's quite widespread. And I remember as a student, when you were taking your bike to one place to another, it felt like it was like distance, but it's quite short. How do you sort of connect the different parts of the city together? Do you have a view on that? In the future, what kind of vision do you have for the city to be?
Of course, I hope that the project we have with the Ideon Road will be the solution. Electrify all buses in Lund. Now we have the tram, and that will be a part of it, but in the connections with the different stations here, we can use the electric. So I hope that the whole city will be a showcase for this.